was recently asked to help with a problem about dogs that are waking their owners up during the night to go outside. The problem was that one dog wanted to go outside and then came back, and then a little later the other one wanted to go outside, and then maybe another one and another one. That meant that the family, the person, was getting up several times during the night to let the dogs out. This was then making the whole family sleep deprived. What were they to do? The first thing you do in any case before asking a behaviorist to come in or asking for advice is to find out that the dog or the dogs do not have a medical condition. They need to be clear that this problem of going out all the time is not medical. So the dogs need to go to a vet and get a clean bill of health. They might have a bladder problem. They might have a urinary tract problem or cystitis. And these dogs actually do need to go out. I find it hard that several dogs would need to go out at different times, but it might happen. So the dogs need to get a clean bill of health. Then you look at it from a behavioral side. When dogs do something once and they get it works, they get their owner to get up and let them out, and then they do it again, and then they do it again, maybe one or two more times, that dog has now created a pattern. It knows, I can wake up my owner will get up and take me out. So the dog has actually trained the owner. So what do you need to do? You need to retrain this dog or dogs to go out on command, or when you tell them, come back in and not wake you up. So the first thing you do is you go back to basics as if this dog or dogs are little puppies. Soon as they've eaten, you take them outside. If they've had a little snooze before it's time to actually go to bed, and they then wake up, you take them out, because when dogs wake up, they usually want to go outside and do something. And then you also have to ensure that they go out just before you are closing up to go to bed. And in a case like this, it is no good leaving the door open and sending the dog out at just before you're going to bed, because many times the dog is lazy and goes, oh, I don't want to go out, or it goes out and it walks around a little bit and then comes straight inside not having done anything. I suggest that you take the dog out physically. What I mean by that is you go outside with the dog. Go walk around, go to an area where maybe they do things. The smell will stimulate the dog to redo it, and hopefully you get the dog to do something before it comes inside for the final sleep. It's no good assuming that the dogs are going to do something outside by leaving the door open and the dog goes out or probably sits. Even if you close the door, many dogs just sit and wait until the door gets open again. You have to fix this by physically taking the time and effort to go outside with the dog. I often say to people, if you want to stimulate the dog's stomach to do something, run around, get movement from the dog. Because I can't tell you how many dogs arrive at training or at puppy kindergarten and they start running around, movement, next thing they want to wee or they want to poo. So you could run them to a spot outside or move around, get a little bit of movement from the dog, and hopefully they will do something. Then you bring them inside. Now the next habit that the dog or dogs have learnt is that they can wake you up and you're going to get up and let them out. You have to try to ignore this. So what you do You take a double brandy, a Valium, earplugs, go to sleep. No, I'm just having a joke there. But you have to ignore the dog. So the dog comes to wake you up. You've got to try your very best to keep those eyes closed and pretend that you're still sleeping. You mustn't let the dog know that you are moving or you're thinking about it. Just pretend to sleep. And yes, in the beginning, the dog might be very persistent. But if you could try and ignore, most dogs will go, oh, okay, and go back and lie down. You have to ignore this behavior so that you break a pattern. The dogs are doing this because they've now gone into a pattern that at, say, 2 o'clock in the morning, I need to go out, so I'm going to wake up my owner. You need to break the pattern. The other thing is, in some cases, I have found that some female dogs who have been spayed do have a problem with getting through the night. And this is why I go back to that checking out with the vet, because some females just can't. They've been spayed, and for some reason they can't hold it in the whole night. But believe you me, most dogs, even spayed females, can keep it in the whole night, say from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. So I think you need to be very consistent. Don't let the dogs know that you're awake. Leave them, ignore them, and hopefully that dog will go and lie down and get out of the pattern. But you've got to do it repeatedly, because it took the dog all this time to get into the pattern. You now got to get time to get it out of the pattern. It's going to take time and effort. It's not something that just happens overnight. You have to put in the time and effort to get the success and to get your sleep. I wish you guys well in your sleep, and I hope that you can cure these dogs waking you up and getting you to take them out every night.